Yeah, so we're making another video about the Vancouver Canucks exit meeting press conferences. And if you had seen the video yesterday that we made talking about Rick Tocchet because he spoke out about the Elias Pettersson and JT Miller conflict that happened earlier in the season, if you had seen that video, you would have heard my spiel at the beginning talking about how usually the Vancouver Canucks season-ending press conferences are a really big deal for me personally. Like, I like to watch this stuff. I like to listen to what the players and the coaches and the management all have to say about the season as a whole, and it was always a really interesting perspective to look at what they're thinking about. But this year was different. This year, I couldn't give a rat's behind about what was said in the post-season, end-of-season media availability, because the season was just so disappointing that, like, I just don't want to acknowledge that this season even happened anymore as a Vancouver Canucks fan. I don't want to look at the season and learn about what went wrong and just kind of dive into the reasons, because we all know that Vancouver hockey was unacceptable this year compared to the level of expectations that we had for them, that they had for themselves, that everybody thought they'd be capable of achieving. The Vancouver Canucks didn't do any of that. They were not a good team this year compared to what they should have or could have been. Which is why I was so disengaged from all the postseason media availabilities. Now, that doesn't erase the fact that these availabilities did happen and that there are some things that we can talk about from what was said. Yesterday, we spoke about Rick Tocchet's comments on JT Miller and Elias Pettersson. Today, we are going over some kind of sad, honestly, like really disheartening comments for us fans. It's Quinn Hughes going out there to the podium and talking about the status of the team. And don't get me wrong, Quinn Hughes didn't bury the Vancouver Canucks. He didn't say anything bad about the Vancouver Canucks, other than saying that the season was disappointing, which is obviously not wrong. Quinn Hughes didn't say anything wrong here. But this is one of the comments that when you watch the video of it being said, and you just kind of listen to the tone of his voice, it just feels so bad as a Canucks fan to listen to that. I'll leave a link in the description to this article published on the Canucks website. This was by Lindsay Horsting from yesterday. Canucks focus on sustainability and growth after a season of adversity. It's essentially a summary of a bunch of the juicier quotes from Canucks players and Rick Tocchet as to what happened this season. And you can see in the thumbnail, Quinn Hughes, yeah, that guy's zoned the hell out. That guy does not want to be there, and he is certainly not really happy with the result of his hockey team. Let's take a look at this. Firstly, there are some comments from Rick Tocchet talking about how it's been a hard year, but it's also been a year where you can improve by learning these lessons. The adversity, including myself, being better in certain situations. I don't think we got an A+ on embracing the hard, Tocchet said. I didn't think our training camp was as good as the year before. Did we embrace the hard there? I kind of kicked myself. Could I have been a little bit harder on everyone after training camp? That's something I gotta look at myself going into next year. But the ultimate answer that Quinn Hughes delivered that had so many folks just saying, oh man, that's kind of the biggest response that I'm seeing from Canucks social media. Let's take a look at this. Despite dealing with injuries and missing 14 games this season, Canucks captain Quinn Hughes remained steadfast in his focus on team success over personal milestones. Everyone that's here just wants to be a part of a winning team. So I don't think anyone's too concerned about making me happy. It's just about being a successful organization, Hughes said. That's the main goal for everyone here, and I definitely feel like we can do that. Bro. Included is a video clip of the same answer from Quinn Hughes, and just the way that he says, I don't think anyone here wants to make me happy, we just all want to win. That language and the facial expressions, oh man, that is a captain who is totally gutted. And I don't like to participate much in like the, I gotta use my words very carefully here, the hockey stan culture that exists online. Like, I don't want to dive too much into that because I feel like that's an entirely other realm that I'm not familiar with. But there was a lot of sympathy gained for Quinn Hughes after these comments. How this guy looks so sad, he's so disappointed with the team's result, and it's not like anyone in the organization, in his words, is trying to make him happy. They just want to win. And I think it's so sad for us fans to listen to that because there's been this narrative around this city that's like, oh, we gotta make Quinn happy. We gotta keep Quinn here. If he becomes a free agent in 2027 and he decides to leave, that's all Venon Rutherford's fault. That's Aquilini's fault. That's all of the management and the team's fault for not cultivating an environment that will make Quinn Hughes want to stay. They have to make him happy, so they gotta keep Pettersson because Hughes was a Petey guy. They gotta keep Tocchet because Hughes likes Tocchet. They gotta do everything they can to keep this guy happy, happy, but then Quinn goes into the media and he's like, yeah, I don't think anybody's trying to make me happy. We just want to win. And then it's like, oh, shucks, right? Like, are the Vancouver Canucks shooting themselves in the foot by making these decisions at the request of Quinn Hughes? Are they pulling themselves back? And is that effort even really being acknowledged here? Is it working? I don't know. It's hard. It's sad seeing Vancouver Canucks players look as demoralized as they did this year. Quinn Hughes had a better season if you want to go game by game in terms of what he displayed on the ice when he was actually playing. He had a better season this year in 24-25 than he had last year in 23-24. He was better this year. But last year he won the Norris. This year he won't because he missed too many games. But like still, Quinn Hughes tried. He tried to pull heaven and earth together to make this season work for the Vancouver Canucks. But it wasn't enough. And even though it's been so obvious that Vancouver Canucks media and fans have been pushing this narrative that, yeah, the Canucks, they gotta keep Quinn happy, the fact that he straight up addresses and says, yeah, I don't think anyone's trying to make me happy. We just want to be competitive. We want to win. That's so sad. Like, do you understand what I mean now when I dive into the Vancouver Canucks and I say, yeah, like the videos on this YouTube channel, say what you want about the quality of these videos, whether or not these are good videos or bad videos, unnecessary commentaries or whatever. It's just me talking and giving my opinion. Generally, the engagement for Vancouver Canucks stuff is down compared to last year, especially compared to some of the other teams that we cover here on this channel. It's a business decision for me to not immediately talk about some of this stuff right away because it's like, yeah, I could make a video about the Habs, get some views, get some money, or make a video about the Canucks, get less views, get less money. Don't get me wrong, the Canucks are still my favorite team, but I have to be transparent about it. Like, last year we could make a video about anything Vancouver Canucks related and it would pop off because everybody was so excited. Hey, they made the playoffs. Hey, they beat Nashville. Hey, they're playing off against Edmonton. Hey, all this stuff is going on and it's exciting. This season, what's exciting about what we saw this season? Absolutely nothing. Oh, Quinn Hughes was in the Norris conversation. Yeah, he was, but then he got hurt. Oh, he missed out in the Four Nations. That's not exciting. That's demoralizing. Oh, Pettersson versus Miller. Pettersson's playing poorly. Yeah, that's not exciting, but everybody watched it. Like, you could just tell the difference in the view counts in all these videos. And again, say what you want about how good these videos are. They're pretty much the same quality across every other commentary that we make. It's just, there's a varying amount of emotional substance in each of these commentaries, and I think ultimately, for Vancouver Canucks fans, myself included, I like to trust my gut on these things. Vancouver Canucks hockey has been more disappointing and unfortunate than anything. That it's so hard for people to look at that and say, yeah, I want to consume content about that. I want to watch videos about that. I want to keep on feeding this narrative about the Vancouver Canucks being bad or how they had a disappointing year. Now it's like, okay, what do they have to do next? That's what's important. But for now, I think, heading into the playoffs and the next few days and weeks here, we can make some other videos about what's next. And Elias Pettersson, maybe that idea that I spewed off the top of my head is still relevant here. Oh, here are 5 reasons why Elias Pettersson can bounce back next year. We'll see whether or not that video gets made. It probably will be because it's going to be hard to think of topics in the offseason. But still, Quinn Hughes, he doesn't think anybody's trying to make him happy. Man, that's unfortunate, because I think people are. But is it working, though? That's the question. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about yesterday's Quinn Hughes comments and some of the extra stuff that you could read about in this Canucks article, which will be linked in the description. I hope you enjoyed this video, and bye.